Brandon here with Roadrunner Sports, getting all straightened out there. All right, so today we are going live with the Clifton Edge, and we got a special guest joining us. His name is Hellah Sidibe on YouTube. He talks about his running journey. He has a run streak of over 1,000 days, I think. I don't even know how many days he's been running, but you can find him on running on Instagram. You can find him running on YouTube. He has big plans for running that I will let him tell you all about. We'll be talking about this shoe in particular, the Hoka Clifton Edge. I did a full review on this shoe a couple of weeks ago, so you can see all my thoughts on that there. So I'll let Hellah give us his thoughts on this shoe, and I'll help supplement as needed. But you can check out my full thoughts on our YouTube video. And I also, today, just because I knew some of you guys were going to have questions about it, I went running in the Clifton 7 as well. I've got a bunch of miles in these, but I went running in both of them today because I want to be fresh and make sure I can answer any questions. So let's hold any questions about the Clifton 7 until the end. We're going to focus talking about the Clifton Edge with Hellah Sidibe here. So whenever you want to join, just give me a request and I will let you into the video. And then we will start talking about the shoe and answer any questions you guys have about the Clifton Edge. I mean, this shoe is super exciting. It really is different than anything else like you see out there. So I'm excited to talk about it. What's going on, my beautiful person?
Hello, what's up, my beautiful people?
How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I just got some miles in on the Clifton Edge just so I can be fresh on it and get to know all about it. How was your run today?
The run was beautiful. I ran in the Clifton 6 today, but It was awesome as usual. We ran 7 miles. That's my minimum daily mileage in a day. So it was really well. It was awesome. It was cooler. It wasn't humid.
Nice. So how many days in a row have you been running now, for those who don't know?
So today I completed my 1,158th consecutive run. I've been running every day since May 15th of 2017, and we're still gonna keep going.
That's nuts, man. I was telling everybody you got big plans for your run career, but I'll leave that up to you. But yeah, I want to talk about this shoe a little bit. Obviously, you've had it for a couple of runs, and
yes.
What do you think about this crazy shoe?
Okay, first of all, before I even put these on, when I saw these online, I actually saw you guys post about it. It was just one of those things you see it, you said, I gotta have this. I don't know how it feels. I don't know what it's gonna be like, but I want this because it just looks beautiful. It just looks amazing. And running shoes, the best running shoes usually are not the prettiest shoes that you have out there. And this is a shoe that you see, you say, this is beautiful, and it's a running shoe. So at that point, you just want it immediately. And then just the styling, and it's colorful, it's joyful. You look at it, you just wanna you're excited. And when I got it, I picked it up. It was so light. And I'm comparing this off of the Clifton 6 because I have that. That's a little bit of a heavier one. So I picked it up. I'm like, this is like cardboard, but it has all the support that you need. So I put them on, and the first run I did with it was 7 miles. That 7 miles, I was 2 miles in. My rolling mile was 7 minutes 20 seconds. My average mile was 7 minutes 10 seconds. I couldn't believe it because to me, I was moving at like 8:30, 8:40 pace. And I was just shocked. And I realized as I started paying more attention to my landing, my strikes, this shoe has so much energy that you get back. Every strike you do, you feel the energy from the earth, the ground. You feel it push you back up. So it's making you kick without any effort. So you move quicker than you feel like you're giving the effort for. So I was just like blown by it. And you almost want to like go at it, but I had to kind of hold myself back to kind of like enjoy it every step of the way. And I couldn't stop smiling. Their shoes, I think Hoka killed this, and I'm just excited about it. And to a point where like, it's my baby. I'm only wearing this once a week. I'm not wearing this every day. I'm gonna make sure it lasts as long as possible.
Absolutely. I want to answer a couple of questions just for the people before we jump back into it. The shoe costs $160. This shoe is a 5mm drop, and it is under 9 ounces for most sizes. So go ahead and check that out for your size. For those questions that were there. But yeah, I feel the exact same way. I put this on and it's a different running experience completely. Like every other shoe, you run in it, it has its pros and it has its cons, but this shoe is very unique. At least for me, I feel grounded. I feel like I'm more grounded. It has a 5 millimeter drop, which is the same as the Clifton series, not the Edge, but the Clifton series, but it feels more like grounded, more like a flat. And I think it's just because it's the design of it. You're really sat into it like a bucket. It's crazy. What did you think specifically about like this bad boy back here?
I feel like I'm about to take off. It's like a jet. But I thought that was gonna be a funny feeling, and it's funny because if you look at the bottom of my shoes, none of this area actually like hit the ground. So yeah, I can see yours too. There's barely any marks on the tip part, the back here, and I think that's great engineering because it's kind of forcing you to run forefoot instead of heel strike. Yeah. So this shoe literally is engineered for you to land forefoot, at least forefoot. So you're not landing midfoot. Heel striking midfoot to forefoot, which is awesome because the proper running form, you want to land midfoot to forefoot depending on the person's way of landing, but you don't want to keep heel striking, and that's like even not very well on your joints. Eventually, you're gonna start feeling it. So I think they designed this that it will force any runner, whether you are your typical daily runner or your typical serious runner or your professional runner, is making you run at the way where you're supposed to be doing it, and if you do, by doing that, you're getting that energy that you need, that it's like kicking you off. So anybody that's a new runner or whatever, go to Road Running Sport right now, order one of these or whatever, because it helps with your technique. It really does. And I realized that with this thing back here.
I completely agree. The way I see it, the kind of thing in the back here is obviously it serves so many different purposes. Like the more I run, the more I feel the advantages of it. So when you're going like slower, so that's why I do like longer runs on these, you're striking more towards the back, but because of the way the shoe is designed, it changes the way you lift your foot, and it changes the way your foot lands. And then more specifically, when you're going downhill, I know we're all familiar with going downhill and you're like barreling downhill where your toes are at the very edge of it, and you're moving too quickly, but because of the way this is back here, it's hitting the ground earlier than the typical shoe would, and so your foot, you're in control when you're going down the hills, which is like a different feeling. You're able to keep pace.
That's a perfect example. The way I can think about it, because I'm a car guy, it's literally giving you the downforce. Like you see these performance cars that has the wing on the back is designed to keep the car low and give that downforce. I think this is the wing for the shoes. It really gives you that downforce. You said it exactly. It's so funny because everything you're saying, this is the same thing I've experienced. So the shoe does not lie. It does not. We never even spoke about this yet. This is amazing.
It's crazy. I'm glad we're having the similar experience. One other thing that I noticed is that on the uphill, you have to lean forward, and I don't know if you guys see here, but there's extra like cushioning here on the toe, and it's all the way down to the very edge. But if you see here, like on the Clifton, like it doesn't have the extra padding on the edge, But so what I noticed is that when I'm leaning forward going uphill, it allows me to dig, and then I'm slowing down when I get to the top of the hill. Let's be real, give it your all up the hill. I slow down a little bit.
Exactly.
My heart's going, and now I'm back to striking on the heel. So it gives me the advantage going uphill, and when I'm slowing down and going downhill, this thing back here is like, it's just keeping me efficient. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and keeping you grounded. It's amazing.
Yeah. So we have a couple of questions. I got more to say, but we have a couple of questions. I'm gonna get lost. Somebody asked, Jack Tech Pele says, is this shoe good for a 5K or for a mile?
All right, so according to my experience with it, when I did my little review on Instagram, I said this is a good tempo or a fast race, like 5K, even mile. And then I'm working on PRing my 5K, and I'm saying, I told my girlfriend, I'm going to save the shoes to attempt to PR on this, because I feel like it was giving me this energy that I need. Even though like Cliftons are known for their durability, they're known for their shock absorbent, they're known to run long distance. I feel like this is one of them that you can kind of try to run fast with it. I have that feeling. So until I don't feel that, but I'm going to try to attempt some PRs with this, because I think it could be very useful. And then that person that asked that question, give it a try. I think you might be surprised that this could actually help you with your PR for 5K or 1 mile.
Yeah, so they gave further information. They said they want to run under 5:30 for the mile in about a month from now. Is this a good shoe for short distance or long distance? Let us know what speed you're running at now, and we can kind of help you out there. And anybody else, please, like, let us know what your plans are for running in the shoe. Like, is this a shoe you would run in? What type of shoe would you want to run in? I have a different opinion than Hellah. He wants to go PRs and fast. I take this on my long runs because of the slow factor where I'm going slower. So I think it really helps my economy and efficiency striking back here. So I'm not using this for my fast days. But we're different types of running. He runs every single day, and his easy day is 7 miles. For me, 7 miles, that's like, those are my longer days, honestly. Like, I'm running usually between 3 and 7 miles. And so 7 miles is on the long end. So for me, that's perfect. But like I said, everyone is a different type of runner. So you got to ask yourself, like, where do you fall in that? For him, it's a fast shoe. For me, I got to slow down because I can't push it to those limits.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody said it gives you a bounce. Yeah, definitely.
It does. It gave you a bounce.
So we have different types of foam here, which is like, shoot, I totally forgot. I said it in my review. I can't remember, but we have different types of, there we go. These ones down here, basically the top layer absorbs, and then the one on the bottom is more responsive, so it gives you that push off. So that's why you have it back here. Basically, it's two different types of density, essentially, to get you more energy return. Somebody asked, is it better than the Vaporfly? You're a Nike guy. What do you think?
I've never run in the Vaporfly, but my experience with the Zoom One Flow 3 and the Pegasus, the Pegasus is, I ran with the Pegasus 2 days ago. The Pegasus has cushioning, but the Pegasus is a rough cushioning. It's not a soft cushioning. You feel that. And I do think the Pegasus might be slightly faster than this. But the Vaporfly, is that what they asked? I've never tried that one, or so I have no idea what I can compare to. But Nikes are known to be quick, but I do realize one thing I could say compared to the Nikes I've experienced with the Hokas. Hokas have this shock absorbent like feeling that is hard to explain, and I love it because the week I did the 245 miles, my first 105 miles, you feel the difference. When I switched from the Clifton to Adidas and Nike, I wasn't in pain, but my joints, I felt the difference. I was like, okay, I got to go back to the Cliftons because there's nothing like the way that it kind of like just absorbs everything. It's like a healthier way to run if you're running a long distance, I think.
Yeah. So you said you've been running the Cliftons, especially with the 245 miles. Can you talk a little bit about the Clifton 6, how it performed on your 245-mile run? And I know you didn't have the shoe in time for that run, but how this shoe would have impacted that type of run for you?
Yeah, so the Clifton 6, I have it here. I love it. So the first 105 miles, the shoes was perfect. So what happened with me is my right foot, my pinky toe, started to hurt a little bit whenever I put on the Clifton after that point. And I realized my foot has swollen because I was running 35 miles a day. So that was the reason, because when my foot swelling went down, that was never the case. So in the future, if I get a Clifton 6, if I'm doing like running across the country, which we can get into later, if I'm running like 30, 40 miles a day, I'd get a wider size, same size, but with wider width. This is the shoes to go for what I did, because it was very shock absorbent. I felt so good in my leg. I felt fresh the next day. As people would think, how are you feeling fresh? It's because the shoes is a game changer. Obviously eating and recovery, but this is amazing. I ran with this today, actually. And there's something about it that is different than this one. I do think this has more bounce, more cushioning than the Edge.
It's definitely softer on your joints, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I don't get any energy response back as I pay attention than I do with the Edge. Because I'm trying to say, let me get that push back. Like, you get the bounce, but you don't feel, you actually got to pick your leg up. With the Edge, I feel like I'm getting a lot of energy from the ground back, the energy I'm putting in. That's pushing so that's the difference. You get more energy with this. This one you don't, but this one has the bounciness, the softness that you need. And this one is like, you have the softness and bounciness, but you get the energy back. And it's lighter. This is heavier, this is lighter.
Completely different shoes, which is crazy. And then you mentioned the problem that I had with the Clifton 6. It was just a little bit narrow, but with the Clifton Edge, I don't have that issue at all. And then I'm happy to report that with the Clifton 7, full review for the 7 is coming tomorrow, but for the Clifton 7 and the Clifton Edge, I don't think the shoe's too narrow at all. I think they nailed it. It's just right. so I
Yeah.
won't need to go a wider width like I thought, which is really nice.
Yeah.
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 So you're
These
running
shoes
in
are
the
unbelievable.
you're running in the summer. Breathability. How are they feeling on your feet?
Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, my first time running with a Clifton 6, literally just 2 miles in, my foot was on fire. The shoe
Really?
heat up really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. And I was like, is it just because it's today? It's hotter? So I was like, okay, it's probably just today. So the next day I did it again. About 2 miles in, it was literally around the same time. My foot, the friction in the shoe is starting to like getting hot and hot. And I think as the shoe broke in, that wasn't the case. But with this one, literally, I took my time with this. I ran 1 mile with it the first day I got it just to ease my way. This one, I went straight for 7 miles. And I wasn't pacing easy. I was like pacing comfortable, steady pace. And this one it was cool inside of the shoes throughout 7 miles. It was not hot in the inside. It was very cool. It was breathing well. I didn't get sweaty. And you could tell by just touching the material, you know it's gonna breathe just by touching it. So this one, I didn't have any problem with heating. It was cool, and my socks wasn't soaked and wet from running because it is hot. So this one has a lot of better breathing than the 6, according to my experience with it.
Yeah, same with me. And I really like how thin the tongue is. It's like it's paper thin, right? It's super thin, which it lays flat, and it's can you even see? I don't know. It's connected on the inside.
The mesh, that mesh that's in there.
It's mesh, so it's really breathable on the side. It's connected, so the tongue's not going to be going like side to side, which is nice. I mean, overall, this has been a great shoe for me. Like, I've really enjoyed it. I guess transition away from the shoe a little bit since we talked about the shoe. We can answer a couple of questions and then talk a little bit more about what you've got going on. Avinash Kantu says, Hellah, you are a legend.
Thank you. You're too kind.
Salivan says, you are awesome.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
From you. Hello from the Armenian community. What's going on, Armenian community?
Yeah.
What's up from Russia? How are you doing? Do you have any experience running? I mean, I know you run the Pure Boost. Have you ran in the Ultra Boost before?
Yes, I actually I ran in the Ultra Boost and the Ultra Boost 19. I did my first marathon, New York City Marathon, in the Ultra Boost 19. That has a lot of.
Josh McRory 18 asks, how do you think these compare to the Ultra Boost 20? If you have experience with other shoes, just 19's fine too.
I haven't experienced the Ultra Boost 20, but the Ultra Boost 19, I would take the Clifton Edge any day over the Ultra Boost 19. And it's easy for me to say that right now, but until I guess further notice. But right now, I said this over the Ultra Boost 19. The regular Ultra Boost also is not as good as the Ultra Boost 19 because I had both of them at the same time right before the New York City Marathon. And I decided on the Ultra Boost 19 because it had more cushioning. And I was happy that I did that because I also have the Pure Boost, which is like literally paper, like cardboard. But it's really quick for a fast run. If you're going 5K any longer than that, you're going to feel it in your muscles and joints.
Thanks. So somebody else asked, Melly Dunn Fitness says, since you have experience running distances, she says, I'm running 100 miles in August for teenage cancer. Any advice for me, please?
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
That is amazing. Yeah. Yeah. I've had a 50-miler day experience, and my biggest takeaway was hydration, because I was just drinking water. Water's not enough. Make sure you're drinking electrolytes, and keep that fluid in your body, and make sure you're forcing yourself to eat, because sometimes you don't have the appetite to eat, but it doesn't mean that you're not hungry. Your body needs the food. Peanut butter, take food with you, always eating constantly, because you're burning a lot of calorie. And pace yourself. Pace yourself. When I did the 50-mile at mile 40, I was so done. I was having like my vision was impaired, and I was just dead. And the nutrition was the biggest factor for me on that. So I said, make sure you're focusing on what you're putting in your body, refueling every course of the way, and then pace yourself, and you'll be fine.
All right, good luck to you. Gianna T Fitness says she's got constant foot pain while she's running any distance. Do you have any advice for that to fix that? She says she's tried correcting her form and paying attention to foot strike. I always say, please consult a doctor, but Hellah, if you have any advice.
I was just going to say, go see the medical people, because that's about what I'm doing. But if you have done like you're correcting your form, that's one thing to do because form is important. You get injured if you running awkwardly and your body isn't properly in line. So go see a doctor, go see a chiropractor that can help you because it could be the littlest thing. And even as little as changing your shoes. You
Yeah,
could
it could
put
be
on the right
changing your
shoes,
shoes.
that pain will go away. Yeah.
Another thing I would recommend is just get your body used to being in motion. Like, just start walking. If you're having knee pain, just go for a long walk. Go for like 45 minutes. Try and get that, cardio endurance built up a little bit. But, just slowly speed up over time. Don't feel like you have to just start getting out and running after it. Take it easy.
That's perfect.
Our
That's
bodies
the best
can't
way.
just like snap into action all the time. Last week myself, I had to take it off almost completely because I was having knee pain. So we have to slow down. Like I slow down all the time. I take walks all the time. So if you're having pain, obviously consult a professional. But I recommend just walking, take it easy, and progress as you need to.
Yeah, like Brennan said, just to add a little bit to that, very important. Listen to your body. If you need to take a day off, take it off. Yeah, I run every day, but I load manage. Like this week, I'm focusing on my breathing. I'm still running the same amount of distance, but I'm focusing on lowering my heart rate with this heat and humidity, and I'm kind of slowing down the pace. So that's letting my body heal in different ways. So always listen to your body and then take that rest and take it easy. Ease your way into it. That's how I got into this. I was running 10 minutes a day, and now we're doing more than that.
Yeah, if you haven't seen his first video, the one that got me to know who Hellah is he ran for 365 days straight. He made a video, he crossed the finish line, he's like, I did it, and he explains his whole story there, and it's a fantastic video. If you haven't seen it, I recommend go check it out, learn all about Hellah and why he started running every day, how he did it, how is it physically possible. You'll learn all that and more there. We don't have time to go into everything today. Knee injury and you have an army assessment in 3 weeks, what do you recommend to keep your fitness up and not make your knee worse? Like I said, rest is an important part of the formula. I'm sorry, but that's the tough love. Appreciate the advice. Comfortable water bottles be a big help too. I personally don't run with water bottles. Hellah?
I don't like running with anything in my hands except that the 245-mile week because I needed to keep hydrating. I don't take phones, anything with me because it feels like it gets to a point that phone feels like it's 10-pound heavy at one point. I don't take it, but if you feel like you need to take it with you, go ahead and then just use it. I personally don't. I don't drink for the whole 50-minute, an hour. And I think the advantage I have from that is not because of I ran every day. It's playing soccer my whole life. We only got to drink water at halftime. You're playing 45 minutes. You get halftime, you get water, and you play another 45. Maybe if you get lucky, if there's a foul, the game is slow down, you run to the sideline. So I think I was trained to kind of go a longer amount of time without water. But always make sure you're hydrating.
Yeah,
when you're doing it. Everybody's different.
If you're having any issues with hydration, I would say hydrate more throughout the day so that you don't have to take in the water while you're running. If you feel like you need the water while you're running, I suggest hydrating even more when you're not running. So that way when you do run, you don't necessarily need it. That'd be what I would do. But if you really need it, I would just say put it in the corner and do loops. Do loops around your water bottle.
And then grab it.
That's your home point.
Yes. That's a good idea.
Let's see. It's hard to get in as well. Sorry, Harvey. I don't think what not understanding the question. But I'm glad you guys are communicating in the comments. Dan Christian, have you done heart rate zonal training? I've heard it's great for preventative injury. Do you have any experience with that?
Not exactly, but the closest I can do to it is basically training at zone 2. At one point when I finally got into a New York City Marathon, running every day, you need to have your tapering and all that. I don't take a day off. So I did some research. So I was training at zone 2. So if that's the closest, just keeping my heart rate very low, but not specifically how he's saying it to do it that way. But I got to experience that in a way where I'm just training at a certain amount of zone, which is going to be something that I need in order to run across the United States because I got to make sure my heart rate is very low. Like this week, for example, I'm talking about it, preventing injuries. I'm not going crazy on my body. I'm slowing down while keeping that heart rate down. So that heart rate training is helping my body be injury free because I have to go slow in order to keep it low. So not specifically just for it, but ways that are kind of similar to what he's saying. There's some training, a lot of training about that, that I was reading about.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I don't do a ton of heart rate training, but if I'm going over 7 miles, I'm going anywhere from 8 to like 12 miles. My really long days, like once every 2 weeks type run.
Yeah.
I'm definitely just trying to stay in that 140 to 150 range. Like I'm not trying to
Yeah.
overtax my body. I want to finish the run and just make sure I still feel good because I know I want to do some more activity.
Yeah.
You got to stay fresh. Let's
Exactly.
see. All right, we'll take a couple more questions and then we'll start talking about some other things. Wow, you guys are chatting it up down there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you use Garmin or Strava?
Okay, I use Strava, but I use Apple Watch that gets all my runs synced into Strava. So people have this
Garmin,
funny thing. Yeah.
It goes into Strava.
People have this thing that are like, oh, a real runner should use a real running watch. So this is what happened. I'll tell you my story. So when I started running, I just happened to have an Apple Watch. It was generation 1, I believe, at the time. So I just hit the fitness button and I started running. So now everything was on Apple, and I wanted to make sure I was, oh, okay, this is becoming a thing. Let me keep my streak. So everything is registered on this. This is the Series 5. So me being me, I made sure that I was driving any loop I run to make sure that the mileage was on point. I was making sure I went to Apple myself to say, how accurate is your GPS? Because there's all these running watch out there in the very beginning, and they literally explained me the technology. And the amazing part about Apple is, when you start the app, it counts 3, 2, 1. Immediately, it picks up your GPS. I've had some other fitness running watch, on the other hand, to test it. It looks for GPS. It's always searching. The expensive kinds don't as much. So Apple picks it up immediately. And I've run with people with Garmin on next to me, or paces are very similar. If it's off, it's a little bit. Or distance or times are very similar. It's off, it's just slightly. So they're not a huge difference. So I use Apple Watch, but everything goes on Strava. But I don't use Strava itself, because if I do that, it doesn't keep it on the record of Apple. So everything is on this. I do have Strava. So every day when I'm done running, I import it onto Strava. So everything is on there. And I think Strava needs to do a little better in terms of the paces, because sometimes you pace on this, it makes it faster on Strava. But that's not, I go for the slower time. So if my watch that I ran a 750 mile pace, I go to Strava, it says 745, I take the watch one. I don't take the faster one. And also sometimes, I think the fact that on Strava, people can actually add runs, which is okay, because sometimes you did it, your watch could have died, you added. But what I like about Apple is you cannot add a run in. If you did it, you did it. If you haven't, there's no plus to add a run mile. So I think that's very unique about this. Yes, it's not a running specific watch, but I think it does the job. I do have Strava, but it's through Apple Watch Series 5. So that's my fitness gadget.
Yeah, I'd say the most important thing is make sure you're using the same thing for a while, because it's all about consistency. If it's different, then it's different. But you need to make sure you use the same metrics over a long period of time.
All the time.
Really you can be charting upwards and making sure that directionally you're improving. So I wouldn't recommend switching between a ton of different things. Pick one and just stay with it for a while.
Yeah. I'm an Apple guy. Yeah.
Somebody asked, Josh McRory, I think again, says starter tips for using the Whoop.
Oh, Whoop is really. I'm gonna post something about that on Instagram, maybe tomorrow, because I'm getting questioned about it. So Whoop basically is it detects your activity. It doesn't show you like your pace. You can't hit a button to start. So if I start running, it detects it. When I get back, it's gonna say I detected running. So it shows you your heart rate, your strain that you're putting on your body. So if I today I said I put like 18 strain on my body. So it shows you your sleep, your REM, your like resting heart rate, all of that. When you're sleeping, your deep sleep, the amount of sleep you need. So based on your strain, it'll tell you, hey, Hellah, it'll tell me, Hellah, go to bed at this time and wake up at this time. So you get 7 hours of sleep to help based on your strain that you put on your body yesterday. So it kind of helps you be at your best. And there's an option, if you want to perform tomorrow, you can hit perform. It'll tell you what you need to do to recover to be able to perform. So it's a thing that helps you get ready to be at your best when you're performing. And whenever I pay attention to it, I feel the difference with the recovery. Whenever I don't, I feel the difference. And the cool thing about Whoop that really fascinated me now, the fact that they've done some studies, they can kind of detect who had COVID. They can, the pre-symptomatic people and the symptomatic. So they've done some studies around, I think, almost 300 people. They got 20% were pre-symptomatic, 80% were symptomatic. So that was based on your heart rate, your resting heart rate. So there's a certain percentage that they found out that if your heart rate is above a certain time when you're resting heart rate, there's a chance that it has something to do with COVID. So all those people who were tested and it kind of showed proof of it. It's really cool. There's so much to this. I'm going to have to do that another time so we don't take over Whoop on over here.
Yeah,
but I'm
cool.
a Whoop athlete. And then,
thanks everybody for the questions. It was fun answering them. Now I just want to kind of pivot into what are you doing? We mentioned the running across America thing. I know there might be some people here who have no idea what you're talking about it. If you want to kind of explain that, and then from there.
So running every day has been a challenge for me, and then it's part of my daily routine. So I wanted to find something that can challenge me even more. But it's not so much about me anymore, but it's something that I can do it for. Even all these things that I do is dedicated to some kind of purpose because it's bigger than me. I realized that really quick with running journey. So I wanted to do something that was bigger than running every day for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever. So I wanted to run from LA to New York City. And I wanted to do it to raise money and shoes for Soul for Soul. So they're a nonprofit who are helping people who are in need of shoes. There's people who don't have shoes all over the world. And I can relate to that because I grew up in a third world country. Having a pair of shoes is something that we take for granted in the United States. And we would have a shoe that it needs to last you 2 to 3 years. Otherwise, you're out of luck for that 2 to 3 years if you don't take care of it. So I'm running for that cause. And we want to run from LA to New York. And my goal, I have a goal day, like I have to do it. I want to do it less than 100 days. But if all goes well, my goal is to see if I can even push and do it in 70, 80 days. So we're talking about running close to 50 miles a day. So that's the next challenge for me. I'm working on it. It's coming into works. Obviously, we have this pandemic going on. I want it to be a community thing. So I want people to be able to jump in for a couple of miles if I'm in your state, your neighborhood, and running through. So we want to make sure that this pandemic is kind of under control so we can do it. So it could be a community thing, not just about me running across the country, but we're all part of the journey. So that's the next biggest challenge. There'll be more challenges in between, but the biggest one is LA to New York City.
Yeah, bro, that is insane. What's the total mileage from LA to New York City? Like, how many miles is that?
Over 3,100 miles, so 3,100 and change. Yeah.
Bro, I don't even know if I've ran that many miles in my entire life. That's insane.
It's crazy. But the mentality is you got to be a little crazy to do some crazy things. And the thing is also, this is not even the craziest thing that someone has ever done in life. So you just have to kind of find the next limit and then keep finding the next one and keep progressing.
Yeah, that's so true, man. I mean, we're super stoked to just be along with the journey and help support you and help you bring that to life and support you any way we can. I know we have a lot of things planned. That thing that I emailed you about in the past, I said don't talk about it. I won't talk about it yet. I'll take it offline, but we got some progress there.
Please.
So be excited about that.
I'm excited about that.
And we'll get into that later. But yeah, we're super excited to just be partnering up on something so awesome.
Thank you. And I want to say, go ahead.
I'm just super stoked about it.
Yeah, I'm stoked. So everybody that's watching, like I can't believe this, like Roadrunner Sport. It's these people are, they're amazing. Even Brennan himself over here. So what I really love about the whole thing, how when they spoke to me, it wasn't about, oh, Hellah, we need you to do this in order to do this. So it's more about like a humanity thing. They saw me, they said, hey, we want to support what you're doing. And it really meant a lot to me. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm grateful for them. They're amazing people. And I would for sure always want to, if I want to get a shoes, even if I'm paying out of my own pocket, I want to help people who are helping others. Because I feel like humanity has to be, we got to be there for one another, whichever that may be. It could be even like spending 5 minutes with someone, smiling with someone, giving your support, even if it's just verbally. It doesn't even have to be physically, like doing something. So I want to say that Roadrunner Sports has been a huge factor, even having the opportunity to wear this thing. Like, this is insane. So sometimes just sitting there and smiling, I'm like, how did this just happen? And it all comes back to me always saying, whatever you're passionate about in life, it could be music, art, sports, whatever it is, science, just do it because for the love of you enjoying it, because it brings happiness to you. And you never know what will happen. And then something like this happened to me. I met a great guy like Brendan, Roadrunner Sport. And those are usually icing on the cake, because at the end of the day, even if nothing crazy happened, you are happy internally. So that's the most important part. So always get up and do what you enjoy every single day. You never know what will happen. You never know.
Thanks, man. Big words. I really appreciate it. I mean, on behalf of Roadrunner, definitely we want to represent for the running community. You know, we don't like obviously buy shoes. We want you to buy your shoes from us. So I just say that right
exactly.
now. But at the end of the day, we're all about supporting the community. We want to be a part of the community, and we think that, you know, having conversations with leaders in the community, people who are running every day, and just being a part of the conversation is super important. And you know, for those watching, that's one of our goals for the year and beyond, is that we want to be a bigger part of the community. We want you guys to engage with us. We want to be talking to you. We want to figure out how to help the runners achieve these crazy goals that are really just like mind-bending, like running across America. That's crazy. If you have other goals that, you know, are big to you or big to in your community, those are things that we want to know about, and we want to help out, and we want to highlight and, you know, share on our platforms, and, you know, even get Hellah involved if that's possible. You know, like there's so many things. There's so many things that are possible when people just connect. So that's what we're trying to do with the running community. And we're super glad to, you know, just be along with the journey with you and with your audience and with everything. But
thank you.
Yeah, man, I'm super stoked. I feel like that's a fantastic note to end on. And yeah, man, we got a lot of things to talk about. So I'll email you, and thank you everybody for tuning in. We hope you answered all your questions on the Clifton Edge. The shoe is sick.
Clifton
Check it out.
Edge, baby. And if you need any running shoes, go to Roadrunner Sport, because it's not just Nike. Like it's not like you're just going to a Nike store and you only have Nike options. You have Nike, you have Adidas, you have Hokas, you have all these shoes. You have what? So you have so many Asics, you have so many running shoes out there. Go check them out. It doesn't hurt. If you can't go into the store personally, online, these guys are the best. And this Clifton Edge, I'm in love with it, and it's my baby. I'm gonna treat it like my baby once a week to make sure that.
And you guys know I gotta say, if you're VIP, you get free shipping on all your online orders and 90 days to test out your shoes. And with that, we'll see you guys out on the road. Thank you for tuning in. Later, guys.
Thank you guys for your time. Take care.
Thank you, Hellah. Bye.